Why is it more difficult for senior associates and mid-level attorneys to lateral into other firms? When's the best time to switch firms? What happens to senior associates is the more senior you get, the closer your billing rate gets to partners. So the clients, let's just say hypothetically, your billing rate is $900 an hour and the partner is 1,000. This is just hypothetical. The client is always going to want the partner to do the work. So when you're in a senior associate, you're competing for work with a partner. The other thing is in terms of how partners are paid in different ways in different firms. But some firms, a partner might get 50% of what they collect from their hours, and they might get 15% others' hours on their work. So if a partner does the $1,000 an hour worth of work, the partner makes $500. If the partner gives it to you, the partner only makes $150. As you get more senior, unless this partner's overwhelmed, the incentives for the partner to do their own work with their clients is really against you. The reason it's very difficult for a senior associate is because the client doesn't want to pay all this money for the senior associate. And not only that, it doesn't matter. 15% of 90 would be 90 plus 45, 135. So the point is that if there's work that requires someone with a lot of skill and is very senior, the partners prefer to do it themselves, or they prefer to give it to partners that are giving them work. So they're alternatively give to partners. The partner has to be very careful about giving out that work because it becomes a quid pro quo when some other partner will give them work in the future. So it becomes very difficult as you get senior to get hours. Now the firm's overwhelmed with work and so forth. They'll give senior associates hours, but for the most part, it's much harder for a senior associate. You said mid-level attorneys, it's harder. It's actually much easier for mid-level attorneys to lateral into other firms and junior associates. But after you have 1 to 2 or maybe 3 to 4 years of experience, you're presumed to know what you're doing. And so a mid-level associate might be billing out here instead of $900 an hour, mid-level might be at 600. That's actually very palatable. And there's certain types of work that partners don't need to do. A partner doesn't want to sit down, for example, and write a memo or do certain diligence or markup. It depends on the type of work. But senior associates become almost like liabilities because they're very difficult to feed with work and so forth. Whereas a mid-level associate, their billing rate's not as high and they can do work that the partners don't necessarily want to do without having to have their hours written off. So to answer your question, if you have 0 to 6 months of experience, you're not marketable because you have no idea what you're doing. Even if you think you do, you're being inefficient. So meaning you have to learn about all this stuff for the first time and you're being very inefficient with your time. If you have 1 to 2 years, you're more efficient. And then when you get 3 to 4 or 3 to 5 or 6, your billing rate's still low. So you're going to be the most marketable at your maximum efficiency, which is 3 to 5 or 6 or 7. And then once you start getting into the senior level, they really want you to start bringing in business, or you have to be exceptional in terms of the quality of work you're doing to get work from partners. And there has to be, because partners are not going to make as much money. They're not going to be able to do a quid pro quo. And then you're going to make all sorts of problems with senior associates in most firms. So those are the main things.